Hey, Derek Snow here, the voice of Real Boismortier and Black Clover. That's right, the captain of the Aqua Deer Squad. Where is Charmy? Oh well. Welcome to Anime Egotists. I think it's time for a little bit of picture magic. What do you say? Have fun, guys.
And welcome back to the Anime Egotists, where none of the elves from Black Clover would take our bodies.
No, they tried me, but it just sort of burned them.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time, I'm gonna be honest on that. But anyways, my name's Alex, and whatever potato dish they have in Hodge Village where Asta and Yuno lived, it actually seems pretty good.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. I like potatoes, and I'm Richard.
That's right. And don't think I forgot. Happy birthday, Richard.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, feel free to say some nice or somewhat a jovial, mean-spirited stuff in the comments for Richard's 80th birthday. It's nice to see him.
Yeah, I look well for 80.
Yeah, not by a whole lot, but still. But anyways, we don't get to talk about Black Clover that much by comparison to other stuff, do we?
No, I think you've definitely seen it more than I have. I've gotten to the Royal Knights selection exam, and I haven't continued since then. Again, I've got so many animes on my list to continue watching or watch episodes from, so.
That's correct. But we decided, like usual, to do what if we were in the Black Clover universe? Because I've said before that living here wouldn't be the worst thing imaginable. But on top of that, we can't just live here. We actually have to be doing stuff and having magic. At least you would think so.
Exactly. So, similar to some videos we've done where we've created our Naruto characters, our Dragon Ball Z, and our Soul Eater characters, we've decided to create our own characters for the Black Clover universe and put them in Magic Knight squads.
That is correct. Now, just a couple of criteria for some of these. Before we talk about our ages and stuff, just know that any interactions, unless we say otherwise, we're the same age as the main characters. Otherwise, we can change it, but just so things don't get too weird with certain interactions. And also, some of you might be thinking, "Oh, you guys are going to pick the Black Bulls or the Golden Dawn." Well, no, not this time.
Yeah, we thought it might be interesting to try other squads. We may redo this again in the future where we have a similar relationship to Austin, but where we're Black Dawn, Black Dawn, Golden Dawn, and Black Bulls.
Or the Golden Bulls in some case. But also, as usual, thanks to Empearts for the amazing thumbnail. Please go support them. And if you've seen the thumbnail, you know what our squads are. But if you haven't, how about we just tell you?
All right. So my character is a member of the Green Praying Mantis squad. And Alex?
Oh, I thought you were going to go into your full story and everything, but that's fine. I decide to go with the Aqua Deer.
All right. So, as a member of the Green Praying Mantis, from my understanding and doing a little bit of research, they only accept commoners. That's one of the big things. So my character is a commoner. My specific magic, I have flame creation and flame healing magics.
Okay.
Do you want me to go more into detail now, or?
Please do.
All right. So, specifically, my magic has pretty much two basic attacks. I can create these kind of talon-like structures on my hands that I use as a closer range attack, and I have kind of an assorted set of fireball attacks, kind of a typical fire mage set of attacks, with one special one that allows me to heal. It's more of a, how to put it, it's that specific attack is just a basic heal. It does a small amount of healing when it use it, but my kind of more notable attack or abilities with magic are my flame healing touch, which allows me to heal people with flames. But I do have kind of a weakness, but it's also a strength depending on how you look at it. My fire healing magic I have the ability to control how it makes someone feel. which is part of the reason that Jack chose to recruit me. And it's specifically, I can make it's still healing you, but I can make it feel like you're being burned alive still.
That's incredibly messed up, but I kind of respect it.
I picked it because, and that's part of the reason that Jack picked me up was so that I could specifically heal his enemies so that he could cut them up again.
That actually is something he would do.
Yeah. I guess I'll save my ultimate attack for later. I do have kind of a transformation. It's more just a powerful spell, and it's my flame wing cloak, and it just allows me to fly, burn enemies who try to attack me with physical attacks, that sort of thing. But that's about it for my actual magic spells. I'll save my ultimate for after your base magics.
Oh, okay. Hey, well, I'm going to be honest, my magic has little to do with the squad I've chosen, but like I said, I had to come up with one because, like, you guys know I like to go out there, whether it makes sense or not, but yeah. But my magic specifically is keratin magic.
Okay.
Like the protein.
Okay.
So, but keratin, it's basically protein found in bones, feathers, scales, a lot of other things. Thanks. One of my spells being, I even came up with a name for this. I probably should have it up, but I did my best to come up with names for these spells. But one of them is Raptor Hollow, which hollows out bones like an owl, so I'm able to move faster.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm also able to turn my neck 180 degrees and not really feel anything. But if I try doing that without my spells, I go, yeah, somebody heal me, please.
Interesting. I don't know how to feel about this magic. It seems so weird, but yet fits the world.
Yeah. There's also well, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, I have creation and reinforcement magic. So reinforcement works there. There's also scale defense, which lets me block attacks by turning my hands into, well, more scale-like attacks. And there's also bone discharge, where I just fire bones based like they're projectiles, but it's not my actual bones because I can create it from, well, thin air. It's creation magic. What do you expect?
So you're the Kimimaru of this universe, by the sounds of it.
I'd like to think more along the lines of Kevin Levitin from Ben 10, but sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But the main thing I'm good for is close range and physical attacks. But I normally like you to go first with how you join squads, but I actually feel like you mind if I go first with that?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so kind of the backstory is my family and I got separated when I was young. And it's not necessarily, they're not looking for me. It's a case of we got separated based on an attack in the village. I grew up poor and on the streets, and I actually kind of grew bitter towards a lot of people, even when they were trying to help. Well, but thanks to, I even tried using my powers to help people once I realized, it's like in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. After Spider-Man saves that kid for his dad, he starts to realize, going after revenge for Uncle Ben isn't working. Maybe I should actually try to help people with these gifts I have. Great power, great responsibility, all that other nonsense. But before that transformation goes down, the Blue Roses has talked to me and they say, hey, you actually could be kind of useful. Well, you don't have to just be running around on your own. You could actually have our back. We could actually have your back and everything. Only for me to realize the Blue Roses treat a lot of their men like, they specifically said we treat our men like errand boys while we do the fun stuff, which is why when they ask, I say, yeah, no, not interested. It doesn't go well.
All right. So did they bring you to the the Magic Knight exam to join at that point, or?
Yes, but the captain, Rill, the 19-year-old painter.
Yes.
He's barely paying attention at this point. He's impressive, but he hasn't raised his hand like, oh, I want you. And it's just but I tell the Aqua Deer, I'm like, actually, I want to join your squad because deep down, I like the freedom because they seem like a very free, relaxed squad. And I say, but unlike everybody else who are please just let me join, I was like, I want to join, but hurry up and decide before I change my mind. And everybody's like, Captain Rill, please think about this. And Rill's like, welcome aboard. I'm like, Okay. Thanks for consulting with us, Captain.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Blue Roses and I do not get along from that point.
I could definitely see it, how they especially acted early on in the series. From my understanding, there are some changes later on, but
It,
they're not fully changed.
it's not even really changes. It's just like all of it. Oh my! Charlotte's like, I have feelings for Captain Yamini. It's like, oh my god, thank you. I had a boyfriend this whole time. I'm just, and once I learned, I'm just like, no, I made the right choice. I like it here better.
All right. So I guess a little bit for my backstory was since I was born with fire magic, I actually did really want to join the Crimson Lions. Specifically, as a kid, my hero was Fuegoleon, um, and so upon turning 15 and getting my grimoire, I set off to become a magic knight. When I went to the selection exams, I proved I had some good magic. I had at this point I had zero control, so I couldn't change the pain for my fire healing magic. So most of the squads flat out rejected me. Jack liked the idea of me being able to heal people but still cause them pain, so that's why he specifically selected me. This actually has kind of changed my goal. First, I just wanted to serve under Fuegoleon as a member of his one, and eventually maybe work my way up to possibly being his vice captain. But at this point, his flat out rejection of me has made me want to pretty much surpass him. I want to gain my own Magic Knight squad and work my way up to Grand Magic Knight rank so that I can have that and then have my squad beat them in the star rankings.
Yeah, I had something similar to that, but I like that. Like it's the usual I can't control my powers thing, but it actually does feel a little bit different to it.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not doing it, it's that I don't have control over how it feels. So, as I said, my power is literally making you feel like you're being burned alive when it's healing you.
I feel like considering one of my skills is part reptile, I feel like that wouldn't go well because a lot of reptiles actually prefer the cold, but a lot of birds actually prefer the heat. So jury's out.
Yeah, that might be something interesting to discuss at the end is our interactions with each other.
Yeah, but do you have any like other like how you interact with Jack besides just simply like when you're not on missions or anything?
Well, so I did make my character a few years older, not terribly. I'm like 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there at the start of the actual Black Clover series. And shortly after the start, I have myself being promoted to first class senior Magic Knight and becoming the vice captain of the Green Praying Mantises. Because I looked it up, we don't know their vice captain.
Yeah, I do remember that. Like they're one of the few squads without a magic without a you know what I mean.
Yeah, and the whole reason most people view me as pretty much I'm there to heal Jack's enemies so he can fight them again, and I'm here to do the paperwork for him. That's what everybody views me as. Why I got promoted.
To be fair, I don't see him doing the paperwork at any point. So
yeah, that's what a lot of people think, especially at the start of the series. They're always questioning like why I keep getting promoted and have reached such a high level as a Magic Knight. But behind the scenes, I have done a lot of missions and stuff. But what I show to most of the world is just pretty much being Jack's assistant.
Yeah, I can see that. You mind if I say some stuff about me and Rill?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so I want to say I'm Asta's age, Asta and everybody else's age at this point. It not that it fully matters, but let's just go with it. But I look at Rill, and at first I kind of just see him as a jokester. I'm just like, I'll have the freedom to help people, like after everything I've been through. But I kind of don't really think I have to listen to Rill all that much. Only for me to realize down the end, he is insanely powerful, and there is like a level to it. despite it being annoying to some people, there is a level to his like happy-go-lucky nature that does inspire everybody in the squad. But at first, it's looking the case of it's like, all right, you're the captain. I'll start to listen to you. But just know one day, I'm not always going to be here to be friends. One day, I'm going to surpass you, and this squad might be mine. Do not get comfortable. But hey, thanks for having me on. What's for dinner?
All right, it's an interesting relationship. Kind of, you do respect him, but also want to surpass him in the end.
Yeah, it's almost to the level where people don't fully trust me over it. But then as the series progresses, he's like, oh, he still wants to surpass him, but it's in a more friendly way than in a I'm going to stab you in the back sort of way.
Yeah, I can definitely see you almost become his like rival in the squad to wanting to get strong enough to take over.
Yeah. And his butler, Walter, is always like, thank you so much for all your hard work. Have some tea. And I'm just like, okay. Oh my God.
So I guess I should talk about my relationship with the only other really important member of my own squad, which is Seke.
Dark Lord Seke. So you lose to him because he's only using 0.2% of his power. Understood.
Maybe, but at first I'm just one of those like I don't understand why Jack brought him in to the squad, and a lot of the missions, especially early on, I send him on are pretty long, stupid solo missions, just so that he's away from the rest of the squad. That's since I'm once I take over as vice captain, I just try to keep him away from the rest of the squad so he doesn't get himself killed and doesn't cause me a headache with them complaining about him. So but then as he becomes close with the king, I start really just like trying to get him away from him and send him on even like worse missions, and I never can because the king always seems to keep requesting him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I still don't fully understand the dynamic between the two because they're both. Seke at least is somewhat likable with his patheticness. The king's just a big bottle of nope.
Exactly, but it's one of those like with Seke, it's one of those. He doesn't seem to quite fit with the rest of what I imagine the Green Praying Mantis to be, which is more of an aggressive, all-out attack squad, except for myself.
And he's more cowardly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see that though. I can see that. I'd like to think at some point you find a way to maybe accidentally work together really well. Like you just magically happen to be the two last people left in the squad, but you somehow get the mission done.
Yeah, I imagine maybe during like the Elf War arc or Resurrection of I don't know what the arc's actually called.
Full disclosure, I've been rewatching Black Clover lately, and even I'm kind of like I don't fully know what to call this arc, but let's just everybody knows what you're talking about, so it's cool.
Yeah, I could see it maybe in that arc where he uses his shield while I'm either healing someone or doing something while we're fighting one of the elves.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Aqua Deer have a couple of notable members, but the main one might be Fragile Tormenta. I think that's her name.
Okay.
And the crazy thing is, I don't even think I know if she's an. I feel like I've heard she's an anime only character, but for the sake of this, I could be wrong on that. But who cares?
Yeah, no, I mean, that is the problem we both mentioned is that not having that many members in these squads.
Okay, that's not even true. But regardless, because I feel like at first she's one of the few main people like I don't fully know how much we can count on this person. And because of her snow magic, me using some of the techniques I have, we don't always work well together. But after a while, I do start to kind of understand. Oh, I know what she's about. She seems to be like the one normal person, the most normal person in the squad, and that's why I'm kind of like, hey, like you could tell she's kind of like the mom or the big sister of the group. So I do start to look up to her, even if I fully think to myself, yeah, I can never tell her that because she will rub it in.
Interesting. I guess this is a character I haven't seen yet. Is it after the elf arc or during the elf
She
arc?
is on Longris's squad for the Royal Knight selection exam.
Okay.
Finral's brother.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I,
guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but then we also when she starts to get to know me, she's also kind of like, I understand. I appreciate all your hard work, but just you really decide to pick this squad? It's just like, yeah, I like the freedom of it. Sure, we're in last place all the time, but we still have the freedom to be who we are, like an artist, like Rill. But yeah, I don't understand him half the time either. And we kind of bond over the fact that Rill, as cool as he is, he's kind of utterly pathetic sometimes.
Yeah, I just pulled her up, so yeah, I haven't seen that episode yet. So I know it's probably coming up because I know I watched the first battle or two in the Magic Knight selection exam, so I probably may have seen her already.
Yeah, everybody else just doesn't have that much. Like there's a guy named Kesk or Sesk, or I'm not even gonna pretend like I can pronounce it. And apparently he uses jackals to attack, so I don't know, maybe we'd be cool. There aren't a lot of Aqua Deer who are like notable. One person we don't even learn who their magic is. It's your favorite character, Eric.
Ah, yes, Eric. It's so weird watching an anime where the people have Western names.
Well, so Alex and Richard work perfectly.
Exactly.
Except I did give myself a last name because I'm like, if I'm gonna keep my first name, at least need to give myself a last name.
Being a commoner for me, it doesn't really matter too much.
I just went with Farnon because that's the name of one of the vets from All Creatures Great and Small. I think that's what the name of it is. I'm like, my thing is kind of animal based, so let's just go with that. Plus, my mom really likes that show, so why not?
I think my dad watched that a lot, long time ago. So because
Hmm.
it's an older show, isn't it?
Oh, there's a 2020 version, but yeah, you might be right on that. But at the same time, though, we've talked before. As much as we like Black Clover, the fact that everything is centered around the Black Bulls or the Golden Dawn can get kind of tiresome. So I'd like to think we had some interactions and some missions with people who in different squads.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to start us off on this? I had to remember which one I
All
had
right,
interactions with.
let's just get the big one out of the way. The Black Bulls. I'd like to think for the most part I get along with the Black Bulls, except the bird, Narrow or Secret, whatever you want to call her after her thing. I feel like at first I'm just like, oh, a little bird, how are you? And then she transforms at one point. I'm like, wait. So this whole time I was petting this bird, it was a cute girl. No, no, no. I can't deal with her at that point. And she's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong with you? It's okay." And I'm just like, "No, this feels weird. I'm sorry."
I say I have pretty similar. I gave quite a few actually of the Black Bulls, a
Oh,
little bit
same.
of different things. The fun part of my interaction the with specifically Asta is that at this point I've started gaining enough control that if I concentrate, I can just make my fire magic feel kind of warm when it's healing you. But it's again, I have to pay more attention to get it to do that. With him, I always just choose to not pay attention, and so no matter what, this does cause one issue with a character in Golden Dawn in Mimosa. One,
Oh, I had something for Mimosa too.
well, specifically, she always gets annoyed every time I end up healing Asta because she wanted to handle it herself. Um, it's just, and she really hates the fact that whenever I heal him, I always end up making him pretty much feel like he's getting burned.
Yeah, I guess can I just go with my thing for Mimosa if that's the case?
Go right ahead.
We end up on a mission together because they do decide at some points not all the Golden Dawn should be on one mission. We should mix it up a bit. Like in that mission with the dungeon they had. And after Mimosa and I work well together, but at one point, and I see Asta somewhere, and he's by himself. And I just glare at Mimosa. She's like, "Look, did I do something wrong? Is he mad at me?" And I just put my hand on her shoulder, like, "What are you doing, Mimosa? He's over there. Go get your man. Go." Go. And she never knows how to react when I try to set them up. I'm just like, I'm trying to help you, Mimosa.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I definitely see that. So it's interesting because we have pretty much like the opposite relationship. I just don't seem to care, and I actually annoy her.
You know, it's revealed with her brother. She actually can be kind of scary with some of the stuff she says. So I get the feeling at one point she would just snap at you with something because some of the stuff she says is a little unnerving. Like, good God, please don't hurt. This woman is scary.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I have no clue because she never actually tells me why she's angry at me. But it's just the fact, and there's like times when she does this stereotypical anime, like she runs up and is so worried about Asta when he's passed out or something, and by the time she's ready to start using her magic, I've already started healing him.
Yeah, and at one point you start to walk over. I'm like, no, no, she needs this win today. She needs this win today. Hey, and she's like, Alex, I just don't understand. Look, just whatever. All I know is I just want one thing. Hey, whenever the wedding happens, I want the biggest piece of cake. Like that. That's all I want. That's all I want. She's like, deal.
Yeah, no, I do find that. But yeah, that would definitely make sense for both bars.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'd like to think there are some characters I'm nice to, and another one, Gordon, because he needs it. He needs it.
Yeah, I didn't put him on my list, but I say I at least get along with him. The other two I had from the Black Bulls that I specifically mentioned are Magna and Luck,
Of course.
mainly because I'm still around their age. They're about a year younger, maybe about the same age. It depends on the time. They both just keep picking a fight with me, and I just keep walking away from them. That's my entire relationship. Is Magna thinks that I'm stuck up, and Luck, like everybody, just wants to fight me.
I feel like he'd be more annoyed that you're just walking away. It's not like, oh, I think I can beat you. It's just not. No, I'm just not interested. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's always seems to be like the worst time. It's not. It's like after the battle has ended, they just run up and want to fight more. It's like okay, no, I'm good.
Yeah. I feel like I would just walk up and see Gordon's doll collection. I feel like, oh god, those dolls, they're kind of cool. Can you make one of me in my squad? I have no idea what I'm doing. I just show up with pins and needles in my hands. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Please help me. And he might be the first person to realize, he acts really kind of stuck up sometimes, but I think he's learning, and because it was shown that Gordon actually can read people incredibly well, like better than people can read themselves. So he might be the first person to be like, huh, you're actually kind of a nice guy. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it. I'm really not surprised that you have a very good relationship with Gordon.
Yeah. I have good relationships so far with Mimosa and Gordon. The Sekre or Nero, the bird girl, I'm like, yeah, I'm still on the fact of, all those times. I'm sorry, this is too weird for me. I'm not going to be able to get used to this.
But since I mentioned Asta earlier, what's your relationship with him?
I feel like I'm the one of the few people. Like I challenge Asta to a fight to prove myself. I end up losing because like he's really good at close quarters combat, and at some point I'm just like, you win this round, Asta. No, seriously, you win. Good job. Let's do this again. And like I'm one of the few people who just openly like, yeah, he's gonna get stronger. In fact, I think he'll be our next Wizard King. And then just runs over like, what the hell did you just say?
Okay, that's a nice little relationship with him. As I said with mine, it's more of just mine's more comedic that I just happen to show up and heal him randomly. And as you said, you stopped me from healing him once, so Mimosa could actually get her chance.
Yeah, but I feel like Noelle's like, so why are you always talking with Mimosa about Asta? I'm just like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I really don't understand what you mean. It's just like, well, I'm in his squad. I'm like, yeah, but you can't heal. And that's something that annoys her. She's like, what are you talking about? You can't heal. No, I'm not insulting you. You seem super cool, but you can't heal him. And that's what he needs right now. Please just relax, please.
Okay. Yeah, so with Noelle, since you brought her up,
Oh no.
I don't really have any major gripes. It's just don't we really can't do anything because she's water, and so my magic actually does cause her like to not be able to heal. Like it's just the effect of her being so water magic focused.
Steam creation, man. Somebody might also might have Steam creation. Never mind.
I think it might actually exist, but yeah, no, just because of that, it's like, okay, no, she's like my magic just doesn't do anything to her. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. I show up one day and I'm like, hey, I need to speak to Noelle about something, but I knock down the door, or unfortunately, it's the door to the bathroom, and Captain Yami's in there, and I'm like, at that point, it's like, shouldn't we send Alex to the Black Bull side? I'm like, no, I'm not going. No, Captain, I respect you. I'm never going back there again. I can't. I'm still have nightmares over it.
I just have an idea that later on, me and you have a bet going on if Noelle or Mimosa's gonna try to ask Asta out on a date first, and we keep upping the stakes despite nothing ever happening.
Yeah, that is something we would do. Ooh, and I'm always like, hey, Mimosa, like, I need to win this bet. What? I mean, I'm hoping for your love and happiness. So go do what you gotta do. Look, I need to win this bet. I need to win this bet, please.
Just some random gambling. We're both causing issues similar to Yami and Jack when they get together.
Oh god. I could see that though. Did you have I don't know. The one thing I was kind of wondering in regards to, I guess, would you say closer to the end of the series or wherever it's at now, that's where you become a vice captain, or closer to the middle or whenever?
I would say like right around like I was already, as I said, since I'm a little bit older than the main cast, I was already pretty high ranking when it comes to those different grades of Magic Knight, but I get the vice captaincy probably about the star ceremony where they just Jack wants me to take over all that stuff because he feels like he may have missed or his previous vice captain or whatever didn't fill out the paperwork correctly, so we placed I think it was 6th.
Yeah. We just finished dead last. And I feel like during that arc, I'm like, oh, the Black Bulls finished 2nd. That's awesome. But it's just like, and the Aqua Deer finished last. I'm like, what? No, we're not doing. No. We have. Look, I don't need to come in first place, but we need to beat other squads, specifically the Blue Roses, because yeah, they still hate me, by the way.
And they're what, rank 4? I think
4, 5, 6, something in that range. And I'm just like, and part of it, and everybody's also wondering, you're really standing out. Why aren't you? And other squads are like, why don't you? You're still in the worst squad. And I'm just like, yeah, but it's similar to Natsume and Beelzebub. It's like, you're strong and you could lead your own group. So why are you a lackey in the group? And he's just like, no, it's just fun because just the people I'm with are super cool. That's why I want to stay.
Yeah. So you specifically want to take over as the captain of the Aqua Deer.
Yeah, even though Real is 19, so it's not like he's going to be giving it up anytime soon. But at some point, I didn't think that far ahead after that, though. Yeah. I thought maybe I became the vice captain probably after the current arc in the anime with all the devils and everything. Because there's a time skip supposedly after that.
Yeah, no, I've read based on stuff. Now, nothing I think is confirmed because the manga isn't done full yet. I know it's supposed to be ending shortly, but it's
shortly.
Well, yeah, but based on stuff in that I have, there's a chance that a lot of things change, so I could definitely see some stuff happening.
Yeah. I'd like to think though at some point, that's what I guess that is the fun of picking squads that just don't have a whole lot to them. Like being the vice captain of the Black Bulls would raise some questions.
Well, and from my understanding, they actually do have a vice captain.
Yeah. We haven't seen that much of him, but they do. But you understand what I mean, though. They're the main characters, so
yeah. So we haven't really talked about I try to think of. I really didn't have much for my interactions with him. I kind of viewed that whenever I heal him, which is rarely because he never seems to actually get hurt. Um, I actually pay attention and do heal him uh, with my more gentle healing, and that's part of why Mimosas has seen me heal Asta as well and knows that I can heal without causing pain.
I feel like I feel like a lot of people take Yuno seriously, and I acknowledge his strength, but at the same time, part of me just sort of smiles at the anticipation of fighting him, and I just straight up tell him, one day, I'm gonna beat you one day. I'd never end up doing it, but at the same time, it's more of the cocky swagger I have that kind of turns him off. And spoiler alert for the anime, but the anime's been on hiatus for so long, it's not that much of a spoiler. When at one point he learns that he is in fact royalty, he turns it on me. It's just like, I'm like, I think I could beat you, pretty boy. He's like, don't talk to me like that. I'm royalty. And you just hear Noelle go, I'm just so proud.
Ah, God. I have. Does he actually have like a somewhat change in personality? Because he seems so gentle, except for with Asta.
He's pretty. No, he seems to remain the same, which is why I like Yuno so much. As stoic as he can be a nice guy when he wants to be. But I don't mean to call you out, but I do believe there's one other member of the what's it called? Your squad, the Green Praying Mantises, who I think I'd actually be friends with.
Okay, which one?
And Ringard.
Oh, N. Okay.
Yeah, he has the fungus magic.
I'm guessing he shows up more in the Royal Knight squad. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is weird, but at the same time, I've become close with him because he's very much like, oh, people should do their best to protect each other, and big brothers should be able to protect their weaker siblings. And so, while he's more friendly and I'm a little more cocky and arrogant, we get along actually really well. Like Gordon, kind of understands what I'm about.
I can see it. I don't know his personality. Since I haven't seen that far into the anime, so I definitely need to go in and watch a bit more of this eventually.
You know Tom Grossi's videos, correct?
Yeah.
He's kind of like Wildflower.
Okay.
Yeah, but one of his fungus magic, well, End's magic, not Tom Grossi. I don't think Tom has magic. I think, anyways. Okay, so one of his magic is he creates a mushroom that is just loud and exuberant and manly. It's super weird.
This sounds like a very funny guy. I need to go back and watch more Black Clover and probably start the whole oh God, the Magic Knight entrance exam, or not entrance exam.
The selection exam is is the arc you seem to be on right now.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that for the Royal Knights. That's what they're called.
Yeah, and it's right after the hot spring episode. They literally call it at the end of the episode. They say, and that concludes the obligatory hot springs episode. I'm just like, what the fuck? Okay.
But at least they do talk about that.
Yeah. I feel like if I was ever in a hot spring of Black Clover, I would be relaxed, but I would also start falling asleep. But as the episode progresses, I'm slowly sinking more into the water. It's just like, yeah, we should grab him. And that's when Fragile starts cooling me down with her snow. It's just like, does it better? No, I went from super hot to super cold. That is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, I have. Oh God, what's the? Let me look him up real quick. Because doesn't what's his name? Leopold. Doesn't he use his fire magic to heat the water super hot?
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine that I am like one of the few people who's able to resist it, but I'm not like even like I'm just sitting there and it's still like I'm still turning red in the face and all that from it, even though I'm trying to not be like show that I'm overheated, even though I use fire magic as well.
Yeah. Can I add something for both of our characters?
Go right ahead.
I feel like neither one of our characters is at the point where Yami's like, hey, why don't we go go look at the women on the other side? I'm just like, that's okay. I'm too out of it to do anything.
Yeah, and I just like, yeah, no, I'm okay.
He just starts grabbing you. It's like your attitude, cool boy attitude, pissing me off. And Yudo's like, no, I'm just not that type of guy. Please stop crushing me.
Oh, yeah. I did have though that Yami has tried to recruit me to change squads to the Black Bulls specifically so that I can do exactly what I do for Jack for him. So I can not pretty much I would be the assistant vice captain.
I thought I thought you were gonna go, oh, so I can use my fire to light a candle after he takes a. I thought you were gonna say that. I'm like, can't he do that by himself?
Well, no, that's part of it, but then he wants me to heal his enemies so that he can fight them again, heal his own squad while still torturing them, because for some reason he's more into that, it seems like, than his own enemies. And since his own vice captain's away, I'm supposed to handle his paperwork for him.
God, so how much paperwork are in these?
I just have it that that's how like all the stars and all that are counted and all
Yeah.
of it.
All these reviews. So like, well, they did a really good job, but they also burned down one of the buildings. So 2 stars. Although I will say though, I'm ready to hear our ultimate spells because like I said, you said you have an ultimate and a transformation, and I did too. I actually somehow prepared for that.
Well, my kind of transformation was the flame wing cloak.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's not really a transformation, but it does pretty much, as I said, it creates a physical structure that allows me to fly, burns my enemies, that sort of thing. Um, so for my ultimate is pretty much I didn't come up with any really good names for any of these, but it pretty much I engulf my entire body in a massive fireball that is it varies in size based on how much magic, and it varies in temperature based on how much magic as well. Um, and but it pretty much is thousands of degrees hot. It vaporizes everything, and it instant heals my body down to where I have no injuries. But the major drawback of this spell is that I'm left completely drained of all magic and I'm passed out. And depending on how much magic I have when I use it, it'll leave me knocked out for anywhere between several hours to several days before I'm able to wake up again.
I feel like at one point I'd be like, "Hey, you good? You've been out for like 4 days." You're like 4 days. I'm like, no, just kidding. We got you back. It's only been like 2 or 3 hours, and people are like, you were seriously messed up. You know that? I'm like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So as I said, because of all that, I have several drawbacks. This is kind of a last ditch effort, but I also have to warn my own squads because this is like there's no healing magic in this at all. I'm vaporized besides on myself. It's vaporizing everything around me for I would say anywhere between 5 meters to like 25 meters. And it's said the temperature can go even hotter. It's just based on how much magic I pour into it.
I feel like at some point you would pretend to sense an enemy, and you'd say to me, "Hey, you should get out of here. I need to use a spell." Got it. And then for hours I don't hear anything. It's revealed that you did that just so I would get away from you.
Yeah, people people just think that it's random attack that I've taken and managed to survive, but it's my own attack is pretty much leaving me wiped out, passed out on the battlefield, and vaporizing everything around me.
Yeah, that's messed up, but I do understand that. I do like that. I do like that ultimate though.
All right, and your I guess transformation and ultimate.
All right, I'm gonna get the ultimate because the ultimate is a bit on the silly side. But mine, you know, Noel's Sea Dragon's Roar, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's similar to that, but mine is Keratin Creation Magic, Super Coop Rampage. I just manifest a giant chicken, and it charges towards the enemy. It's incredibly powerful, though.
I It's one of those that I think it makes the enemies laugh so much until it runs up and actually hits them, but and then they all start panicking because it is super powerful, but it's one of those so silly looking at first.
Yeah, it's like when people say, "Oh," it's like I've never understood why people say, "Oh, what are you, chicken?" I'm like, do people not realize that chickens are jerks that will destroy you if given the chance?
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good description of a lot of the chickens I've met.
Yeah. It charges and it slams into them, and I'm like, and I'm like, it's not, it's kind of crude. It's crude, it's ridiculous, but it's effective. It's effective. But the thing is, after a while, if I leave it out for too long and don't break the spell, it will start to attack me. Not in the sense of it will kill me, but just it will peck me like a chicken would and try to eat me if it wants. I'm like, nope, shut the spell off.
Oh god, that I no that I really like that spell.
That was the one I came up with. I'm just like, Charmy has sheep. Let me have just a giant chicken.
All right, and then what's your transformation?
Okay, the transformation comes at a point where I think I want to say it comes like at sort of towards the point where I realize that despite the fact that that our squad is pathetic in some cases, like we're kind of the new Black Bulls, there is a sense of loyalty. This is the point where I finally start to realize, I want to take over the Aqua Deer, but not if it costs, but I want to do it alongside everybody. I say I want everybody to see me as strong as I am, but deep down I just want everybody to be together because we're a family. So I create keratin creation. I don't know how to pronounce this. Periton armor.
Okay,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah, you form like kind of like is it kind of crab shell
A
armor? Kind of,
a periton is it's a combination of a bird and well a deer.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, so I get armor around myself, and one of the attacks I have is similar to Might Guy's Hiradora, the White Tiger. But the second I use it, the armor just shatters, and I'm completely vulnerable. As the series progresses, does it get better? I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. I only want to make myself so strong.
yeah, I as I said, I gave mine as because of the fact that it's pretty much draining all of my magic to fully restore my body and burn everything around me. I don't have it like no matter what, it uses every bit of magic I have left at that point.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I do like to think we would have one combination and where I'm just like, maybe we should work together on this one. And you just use your fire, and you use your fire on the giant chicken I've created, and it's just a giant flaming chicken running towards everybody.
But for some reason, I could see it having like it defeats the enemy and we're all super happy and you try to cancel the chicken but because it's on fire it doesn't actually like my magic for some reason is blocking you from canceling it so it just starts chasing us around.
We just start running away. It's just like, on the plus side, it smells delicious. Can we eat this when we're done?
Like yeah, it's just one of those we like the next it goes to commercial break after that and then we jump back and it's us sitting around with the giant roasted chicken.
I was gonna save that for Clover clips, so it's just like, so what is this actually made of? Oh, like keratin, but like, is it made of chicken or is it just made of that protein? Protein's protein. Don't think about it. We just have to stall until the preview starts. Just keep moving.
Yeah. I'm like, well, it still tastes like chicken, so
It still tastes like it. Yeah. That's terrible. It's ridiculous enough that it would work, but I do still like it.
yeah. I could see Charmy showing up and saying and being so happy that there's food.
Yeah, and we're just like, and I feel like the first time we're like, hey, sorry, it's all gone, and every time after that we're like, yep, nope, there's always some left, always, always, always.
Yeah. Oh god, that I could see us both being afraid of Charmy because of this specific thing from like the rest of the series. We're just always afraid of her.
Yeah, we're all, and then when she tries to feed us, and it's just like, oh, she seems not. Don't let your guard down. No, she could snap it. She could snap at any moment. You've seen what squad she's on, and someone just says, "Look at your squad. What are you talking about?"
And then I go, no, she's a middling what is it, junior magic knight?
Something. She. I know her thing is like ridiculously strong.
Yeah, it's one of those like we go, no, you don't want to see her angry. No, she terrifies us. She's captain level.
Yeah, and I feel like at some point, I feel like neither of us pick up on the fact that she likes Yuno. It's just like, it's just like, how is Yuno? Like, we don't pick up on it at first, but we just, I feel like we wouldn't do anything about it.
I could see her doing one of her, because if I remember correctly, she offers food on occasion, and but she offers it to like everybody to try not to show it to and it's one of those that we end up showing up before him and eating it all before she can serve him.
I was gonna say it was an interaction that Sanji had with Nami in One Piece. Like he made food for everybody, but he made like a heart-shaped a meal for Nami. I feel like one of us ends up eating. It's just like, oh, Charmy, this is great. She's like, yeah, I made specifically for you guys. I'm so happy you're enjoying it, and I'm just like, what's up with her?
Yeah, it's just that's one of that could be like the actual anime version of why we are terrified of her is her reaction after that, and then we have the what is it? The Clover clips at the end is
Yes.
another version.
I guess though we've kind of been neglecting the blue roses. I've noticed.
Yeah, I'm just kind of on another squad. I didn't really have uh much reaction to them. It's one of those I know that like everybody else seems to. I know that um Charlotte has a thing for Yami, and I just choose to be like, okay, they'll figure it out eventually.
And I'm just like, they won't. That's enough. I feel like we keep having bets with each other. Like, Yami will figure out eventually. No, he won't. You're like, no, but Yami already knows. I'm like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
No, it's just one of those. Yeah, that's an interesting relationship for us. Is that me and you just somehow became friends because we keep gambling with each other on like relationships, food, anything that we can figure out a way to gamble. Me and you gamble on it.
And then the Clover clicks. I'm like, all right, let's have another bet. I bet the opening's going to change next episode. You're like, deal. And you're like, damn it. No, but I feel like, what's her name? Soul Marin from the Blue Roses. She still resents me for leaving them high and dry. Like, it's like, you could have been on our squad. I'm like, you treat your men horribly. Don't get me wrong. You're all badasses, and I respect that. But I'm not just some errand boy. I'm going to be a captain of this squad someday. Hey, and Asa's like, oh, so you want to be Wizard King? And I'm like, no, Wizard King doesn't seem like fun for me. But back to you, Blue Roses. No, I don't like the way you run things, so it wouldn't have worked out anyway.
Yeah, I could definitely understand your relationship. It's just I have a feeling that because I'm on the Green Praying Mantises, I just from my understanding, the Green Praying Mantises are also kind of like they're the other rejects. The black.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason that they don't like us. Either our squads don't get along because we treat everybody who's reject equally, and they treat all the men as errand boys, as I think you called it. So
yeah, and I'd also say, plus we already have an awesome woman in our squad, and we don't treat her any differently. And Fragile's like, do you really mean that? I'm like, of course I do. Of course I do. Without you, we would be chickens with our heads cut off without you. And she starts breaking down. I'm like, what? Another thing I feel like is, as cocky as I can be, when I say something nice, somebody breaks down crying. I'm like, wait, what did I do? Did I hurt her feeling? I'm like, no, you did a good thing. And I'm just like, I'm not used to doing good things. I'm sorry. This is new for me.
I did just have an idea for my relationship with the Blue Rose Knights, and that is that I tried to sell them Seke multiple times. They already know his personality and know that he would not work for them, and it just pisses them off at me more and more because it's like I'm not giving them any possible useful people on their squad. It's just I keep it's like, hey, Seke, here, take him.
Yeah, he only uses 0.2% of his power. They're just like, no, you couldn't pay us to take him. No thanks.
I'm like, but he's Seke. He's close to the king. Take him.
He has the Seke shooting star. I do feel like I'd still love the joke that Asa has no idea what Seke's name is. Just like, who's Seke? It's me. Oh, I thought you were Baha or whatever his catchphrase is.
Yeah, no, and I like that I'm just constantly trying to sell Seke to other squads, especially once I become vice captain. It's just like because
I feel like you try doing it to our squad, and Real is about to welcome him on, and we're all just like, no. We took him in. We're not taking Seke. Hey, and I'm just like, I'm above Seke. That feels like it should mean more, but it also kind of doesn't.
oh, like I'm trying to think. Okay, so we did leave off. I guess one more really important character that we should probably talk about in
Dorothy?
the wizard. Well, I don't know enough about her, but I was gonna say Julian.
Oh,
Or
Julius, the Wizard
Sorry.
King.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point he's like, he tells me your powers are so cool. Let me see scales, and I'm just doing magic shows where I'm like, this is exhausting. Can I please stop?
I definitely feel like I have a very much respect because I feel that he's allowed a lot of good change being a commoner in the world, knowing that commoners can now at least even become squad captains and all that under him, which is I don't know if that was possible beforehand or not, but it feels like it wasn't.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then I kind of have like where since he loves to see magic, he specifically like the first time I meet him, he pulls out a dagger and cuts himself and says, "Heal me," just so he could, just because he wants to feel how much pain my fire healing magic causes.
Yeah, and even if he did, he could be like, "Oh, I'll just reverse time." I'm like, "Oh, right, he has the power of time. That is incredibly OP." But I kind of respect it. But I also feel like he's the one who kind of teaches me, "Look, I know you're a commoner, and you don't always want to help certain people, but there are a lot of non-commoners. There are people higher ups who are actually kind-hearted people who deserve it." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I understand." And it's like your friend Mimosa. I'm just like, yeah, she's cool. Well, I feel like a lot of characters are instrumental in me becoming a less selfish person, but not enough to completely change me because I'd like to think I still have some bit of arrogance to me, but that's part of the charm.
I do see the one thing with him is that me and you are betting on something to do with like someone else's magic powers and what they are or something, and he's like, "Oh, let me get in on this," and he shows up and tries.
And Mark shows up like, "Captain, like Wizard King, Your Majesty, what are you doing?" I'm just like, Mars, do not ruin this do not ruin this for us, please. I was about to win. Like, no, we have to leave. Give him the money back. Damn, fine.
Mainly because it was betting on someone in your squad that you already knew the answer to.
Yeah, it's just, and they're like, "What are you doing with this money?" But deep down, I just use the money to just buy gifts for the people in my squad. It's just like, "Oh, I made these snow cones," and Frad's just like, "Snow cones are my favorite." I'm like, "I know they are." We didn't talk about do you remember the underwater temple arc?
Vaguely. Is this the one where they have the people with the voice?
Yeah, the
powers?
singing and like Kahono, and I'm not going to pretend like I remember what her brother's name is.
Yeah, no, I don't really remember because all I remember is that they showed up for the star ceremony at the end.
Yeah, and they were so proud of Asta and everybody else. Also, I get the feeling that they're the only two ones I actually remember. I get the feeling that when I see him dancing, I'm just dancing. I just start shooting bones towards him. I'm just like, dance faster. I want to see how fast you can dance.
I could definitely see that. I don't think I have any sort of real relationship with them. Now I got confused. I thought that this was the arc that also had the 3 eyes of the midnight sun.
That was the arc right before. That arc was really good.
Yeah, I for some reason I confused it and combined those 2 arcs in my head.
Well, one of the eyes of the midnight sun, Veto, is the main villain in this arc. He's the one who messes with Asta's arms.
Okay.
But that's after Yami and Licht have their battle, and Licht explains his backstory, and Yami's like, "Oh, that's cool. My backstory, I was just some random guy, didn't really do a whole lot, then became a Magic Knights captain." And Licht is like, was that it?" And Yami's like, "Yeah, I just thought we were sharing stories. I'm sorry."
Oh god, I really need to go back and watch parts of this series again because I don't remember like all these arcs being separate.
Yeah. I feel like the girl who sings Kahono, I feel like the second I hear her music, I'm just in a trance. I'm like, no, this is perfect. This is like her singing is the one thing to get me to be a little bit nicer because her music does have that effect on people. Like it just brings happiness out of people.
Yeah, I just sort of stand there, and I think I'm just like, okay, I try to get you to bet, and this is like the one time you won't bet with me. Is
no, leave her out of it. Leave her out of this, and you just start making fun of me for it. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know she was so. I'm like, I'm just like, I will send that chicken after you. You say one more word. I am not joking.
I go, good. I could use some fried chicken.
I'm just like, yeah, well, actually, hey, Kahono, do you want?
What I was gonna say though is, at that point, Luck and Magna try to get in on the fight, and it just causes me to turn around and walk away.
And I'm just stuck there like, wait, he was my ride back. Good thing I can still fly.
Trying to think if there was any more characters I really.
Yeah, it's hard. There are other characters, but at the same time, I just don't think you're there yet. So I don't know what to tell you.
And I mean, I could. Oh god. I mean, I know most of the Black Bowls. I know the handful of Golden Dawn that are important. I know the Silver Eagles, but I know I get treated like trash by the Silver Eagles because they're all royalty or at least nobility and hate the rest of us.
And one of them has hair that's dangling in front of his face.
Yeah.
It's amazing how I'm able to do that nowadays. But I don't know. I like to think we've come up with good bases for our characters and just like I like your flame creation and healing. I think it's a good combination.
Yeah. At first, I had I don't know. I did give my character a nickname, which comes from the powers that I have, being that I form talons, have fire, have healing abilities. The sadistic phoenix of the Clover Kingdom.
Jesus Christ.
Because all my powers are pretty much seem to form bird stuff. I have fire, healing, and attack magic and all that. So it's just, that seemed like the right thing. And because my power hurts people, that's why I went sadistic.
I feel like mine would just be the scrambled gene of the kingdom. It's just like you just seeing like you're half mutant or the mutant gene of the Clover Kingdom. I'm like, that might be the nicest name anybody's ever given to me, so I'll take it.
I could definitely see it.
Yeah. I'm glad I got you with my giant chicken ability, though. That was one I was proud of.
So did you ever say, like, I know since you're the same age as Yuno and Asta, did you ever say like what rank in the Magic Knights you are like later on?
Honestly, I didn't, because even through all this time, I think to myself, I don't really know. I don't feel like I'm on the level of Charmy, because I know Charmy is like ridiculously high, because Charmy's just a badass.
Let's see, because it usually says at the top of their one. I know most of the Black Bowls are like Junior Magic Knight level 5, which means that they've not been promoted at all.
It's that's terrible. That's terrible. I feel like I start off as just closer to intermediate into just junior magic, but closer to the end, I'm a senior Magic Knight.
Okay. Yeah, no, and she's actually first class junior, so she's at the top of the junior class of Magic Knights.
I'd say I'm closer to towards the end. I'm a second class, so I'm all second class senior, not 8. So I'm close to Grand Magic Knight towards the end.
Yeah, I couldn't really understand Grand Magic Knight. From my understanding, though, they're pretty much like the captains or the only Grand Magic Knights
Yeah.
because they serve directly under the Wizard King.
Yeah, and that's my way of saying I'm dangerously close. But then again, Real could always widen the gap between us with his paint magic and whatever the heck. Apparently, he gets a really powerful spell towards this point in the manga, but I'm just like, I didn't do that much research on the manga.
Yeah, I mean, I got spoiled for a few things because I don't think have come out in the anime, so it's interesting. There's so many a lot apparently happens in this final arc.
Yeah, yeah, we're not in it so far, so that's a little disappointing. But it still seems like a good ride.
They're just gonna completely rewrite the story, and our characters end up in it somehow.
If they did that for Soul Eater, I'd actually be okay with it because I'd like to think we'd improve it.
Well, yeah, and maybe we get a complete redo, so we get the full manga story.
Yeah, but keep the theme song.
Of course, yeah.
Both
of them are good.
Yeah. Yeah, but as for Black Clover, it's a little trickier to do, especially since we're back at this point too. Let's just create our own thing rather than Soul Eater, where it's like let's come up with something together. But in this case, like I said, I think it worked. Even if we were both on the same squad, I'd like to think we would have found a way to make it work.
And this is one of those series that I feel like because of how creative you can be with this stuff, I could create a second character if we do want to do one where we're specifically part of the two main squads and the Black Bulls and the Golden Dawn.
Yeah, I could probably do that. I thought about it, but I'm also like it took me a while to come up with carrots and magic, so I'm like, this could take even longer. Like, you guys know me. When I get creative, sometimes I get in my own head.
Well, yeah, and I would want to go back. I mean, I just chose something kind of basic, but still interesting because I don't know if it's actually shown very much. I know fire magic is shown a lot, but fire magic healing magic is.
I feel like there's one other person, but it's one other person. Nobody should really be calling you out for that, though.
Yeah. So, but I definitely would be interested to go back and just see what everybody else's magic actually are, and maybe create another one.
Yeah, but like I said, I like these videos where we're a bit more creative. I'd like to think we could do others, like Fairy Tail, Zatch Bell. I still think Phineas and Ferb is an option.
You'd have to tell me about that one.
Oh, yeah, like you've never seen it. Okay.
No, I meant specifically like what we would do for that.
I don't know. I said it in the Soul Eater video as a joke, so I'm like, let's just keep the joke going. And before people are like, no, do the video, I'm like, we have nothing, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe when it comes back, because I know it's getting like season 5 or whatever the next season is now.
I will say I'm dangerously close to being done with the my Zatch Bell thing. So take your time. So take your time with it.
Yeah, I've got a couple ideas. I need to sit down and make a decision on some stuff with it.
Yeah, but let's Zatch Bell, Persona 5, Fairy Tail. We could do all of these.
Yeah, we've got a lot, but we do need time in between each one to let ourselves be creative
and also Tiger Mask W. I could do that one too, but that's a completely different thing.
Well, wouldn't that just be our wrestlers?
No, we're not talking. No, those videos are blocked for a reason. We're not talking about that.
Did anyone actually ever watch that?
No,
say in the comments.
No, please don't. If you do, we'll send you a care package. We're so sorry about that.
Yeah. No, we won't.
We'll try. But anything else? Anything you want to summarize your Black Clover character, your Magic Knight, anything whatsoever?
No, I don't really have anything else to add to mine or bring up again, I don't think.
All right, sounds good to me. So are we ready to close this out?
I believe so.
All right, so ladies, gentlemen, and others, if you've seen Black Clover, and if you haven't, I'm sorry. What do you think of our Magic Knights? Do you think they're interesting? Do you think they're a little too much? And if you've never seen Black Clover, would this inspire you to want to give the show a chance? And what would your Magic Knight powers be? Just let us know.
Exactly. And would you want to eventually try to be Wizard King like Asta and Yuno, or seem to have our goals, which seem to just be becoming a captain of a squad?
Yeah. And would you find ways to annoy the Blue Roses as much as I would? Because I will respect the hell out of you if you decide to do that.
Yeah. and just oh, good.
I'm just gonna say the usual: like, comment, subscribe, and just do your best to support us. Hopefully, we do more interesting videos.
Yeah, I think we've got a few in the pipeline coming up.
Yeah. But anyways, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that other nonsense. Be good to each other, and we'll see you next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to Anime Egotists. Good night, and peace easy.